But then also, I wanted to make sure I honored God's law, biblically first, but then also that I honored, as much as I could, the laws of the land that didn't violate my faith and my belief in God biblically. And so I looked up, okay, what are my rights in continuing to tell my testimony from a perspective of, I let the judge know that this harassment was still going to continue once we left this courtroom if she dismisses this case. And I knew once I left and she dismissed the case that I was not called to enable this evil at all. And part of my faith, my faith tells me that when it comes to evil and your testimony, the way that you and others overcome it is, of course, by the blood of the Lamb, which is Jesus Christ, but then also talking about your testimony and shedding light on darkness. And so I researched, how can I do this? Because I knew biblically how to do it, but I didn't know legally until I researched it. And according to Tennessee law, what I specifically found were the laws and the codes of, hey, you still can talk about your testimony until that order is filed. And then, of course, you can file a motion of stay in the Court of Appeals when you do your appeals process. But until then, eventually in a roundabout way, I found out I still legally am able to do this, to still protect myself in this way, to still stand up for my faith in this way, until this order is filed. And literally, we're over 30 days since February 6th. It's February 18th now. And I checked about a week ago, and the order still hadn't been filed. Now, maybe she filed the order today or maybe just a few days ago. But since I've posted about my testimony of what I'm still enduring with ongoing abuse and harassment, she had not filed that order. So I know that my main prerogative was honor my faith in God biblically first, and then as much as I can, respect the laws of the land. And that's what I did. So like I said, ultimately she granted them what they wanted. Since I last checked, the order for February 6th hasn't been filed yet. It could have been filed recently within the past few days. Prayerfully, like I said, I sought God, and that's how I moved forward on honoring my faith in God and honoring the laws of the land. And all that being said, Cece Winans and Richard Manson have filed me in contempt since continuing to talk about the ongoing abuse and harassment that I'm still experiencing, that the whole reason for the lawsuit was opened up in the first place. They filed me in contempt of court for following God and abiding within the realms of Tennessee law when speaking about my ongoing harassment and abuse by those who are still responsible for it. I've been told by those who know the law that I can expect to be fined financially and or serve jail time, despite not being in violation of Tennessee state or federal law. Now, some people would say, wait a minute, go back. What do you mean? If you didn't violate the law, then how can you be punished for it? Well, let's go back to the February 6th hearing. I presented the law to the judge and to Richard Manson. These are the Tennessee codes that say that all of your motions and filings are defective and should be thrown out by Judge Myles. And she didn't throw a single one of Cece's lawyers' motions out. She let them all stand and told me that my research was incorrect and to learn local law. That's how I can be punished. And that sounds like punishment via corrupted avenues. And I know that can get me in more trouble with a corrupt system and judge for even saying that. But I say that from a perspective of standing up for my faith and the truth, despite that it could cost me, and more than likely will cost me, jail time and financial fines. So I quickly want to go ahead and list the lies told by Cece Winans and Richard Manson, her lawyer.